On April 3rd, 2013, Filip Forsberg was traded to the Nashville Predators for Martin Erat and Michael Latta. Now that's right, we are doing a scenario in which Filip Forsberg was never traded and he was still on Washington. So let's go ahead and control both of these teams here, and we can take a look at how they would affect them. Let's start the season. If you didn't know about this, Filip Forsberg was selected 11th overall by the Washington Capitals. He's been a fantastic player for the Nashville Predators since he moved there and since he started his career last year, and this year being his sophomore year in the NHL. Off. Oh, I gotta go ahead and change the injuries. Best lines, there we go. And for Washington, best lines, there we go. Ovi Backstrom and Filip Forsberg, TJ Oshie Kuznetsov, and Marcus Johansson. Man, these are some good lines. Where's Burakovsky, though? Where's Burakovsky? Oh, please tell me he's in here. Oh, my God. I hate going through and doing all of this. It gets annoying. No, this is Nashville. What the fuck? Nashville. Roster moves. I don't... Fucking... I need Washington. This isn't going to cooperate, so the lines are going to be just whatever they are at. I'm going to go ahead and turn off injuries. If I can find them here. There we go. And, yeah, that should be it. There we go. Alright, so let me talk a little bit about this trade and a little bit about Filip Forsberg once I get the simulation going. Alright, so Filip Forsberg was selected in the 2012 draft, I believe, 11th overall by the Washington Capitals. Now he stayed in Sweden, even instead of signing an entry level or instead of going over after he signed the contract, he returned to his club. Now he just wanted to sit there and improve it, and he was actually playing really well. And then the following summer, spring, whatever you want to say it, a year later, he was traded to the Nashville Predators. And people were kind of they're just they weren't expecting it, because he was considered a steal at 11th because he was projected to go top 5 in that draft. I'm not sure why he wasn't, but he was supposed to go top 5 and he didn't. He dropped to 11 to the Capitals. Now, I think he would have done fantastic coming up with the Capitals, but I think it would have, I think he would have become he's becoming a more all-around player now that he's in Nashville. But if he would have been underneath Ovechkin's wing, I think he would have grown to be a better sniper, maybe more of a, I don't know who to compare him to, but more of a sniper, a true sniper, a shooter like Ovechkin is. And this is one of the trades that even Washington has come out and said that they regret doing. That's interesting. You don't see management most coming out and saying yeah, we fucked up. Now let's take a quick look at the stats. Alrighty then. Here we go. Oh, wow. Okay. Forsberg and Ovi not having the greatest of seasons. 43 points for them both. Forsberg, he'll have a 20-goal season, but Ovi, 40-goal season maybe? That's not too bad for him. That's pretty good. But yeah, they're not doing bad. Let's take a quick look at Nashville, too. If I can go over to them real quickly here. Nashville Predators. Now let's see how they're doing without him. Yeah. Mike Ribeiro's got 32 points. He's not even the first line center. He's a second line center. He's got the most points on the team. You can really see how much of a difference that he makes in Nashville. Now, they still have scoring. They have Johansson, Neil, Ribeiro. They have guys who can score. But Filip Forsberg is, I think, the best offensive player on that team. We can take a look at the team stats here, too. Washington, wow, not doing so hot. Fourth place in the division. Let's take a look at the Thunderdome, the Central, and Nashville is actually not doing too bad. So, you know, they're still keeping pace, even though they don't have one of their best players. Taking a look at the West, Nashville is fourth in the West, and in the East, Washington's sixth. So, I don't know if this is a chemistry thing or what, but Nashville's doing really well, even without Forsberg, and Washington's struggling a little bit. So, that's pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and keep simulating here, and I can keep talking about it. Now, in 2013, the Washington Capitals wanted to make a push for the playoffs. So, what do you do when you're trying to make a push for the playoffs? You make a deal to get the best forwards you can. And, I mean, I really don't know how to say this. He shouldn't have been traded for Erat and Lada. Washington made a huge mistake in trading them, and they know they did. But they're trying to make a playoff push. They got a guy that they needed, so it wasn't really too much to it. They didn't think too much about it. But in hindsight, it's one of the worst trades that's been made in the past couple of years. Now, with that being said, going on, Forsberg was named an All-Star this past year at the All-Star game in Columbus. And you can't name too many trades in which a guy was traded before playing an NHL game and going on to be an All-Star while the other two guys just were absolutely nothing. It doesn't happen just because you don't really trade prospects that you draft that high for such little in return. And yeah, I'm bashing Washington a little bit on this. They still make the playoffs. Let's take a look at the playoff tree and the stats and everything. Now, you just don't trade top prospects like that. And Nashville obviously knew what they were doing when they picked them up, and oof, he had a rough second half there. 66 points for Filip Forsberg on Washington. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Ovi had 78, 47 goals for him. That's fantastic. Let's go over to Nashville here. And yeah, Ryan Johansson and James Neal, 63 points each. You know, Nashville has a really good team. It's just Filip Forsberg's, I think, the best offensive guy on there, and it really shows there that they're hurting without him. But they still make the playoffs. So Washington is fifth in the division, and Nashville is fourth in their division. So in the West, Nashville finished fifth in the West, and in the East, Washington, they barely made the playoffs. They had a wild card spot. They are up 1-0 on Pittsburgh, though. This is the playoff tree. Nashville's going up against LA, and Pittsburgh up against Washington. So that's how that looks, and we're going to just go ahead and simulate all the way through. But yeah, you just don't see top prospects like that traded for such little in return. It's amazing how good Nashville got it on this trade. In all honesty, if this trade were to happen again, Nashville could still trade Erat and Lada for Forsberg, but there would have to be a first-round pick or a second, 2 seconds, or a second and a third or something. They just got absolutely robbed. And I mean, what else can I really say? Washington really lost out on a top guy, and it really sucks that they didn't. And the Detroit Red Wings win the Stanley Cup. That's what I like to see. Let's take a look at the playoff tree. We can see what happened. All right, so Nashville lost in the first round, clearly showing that they needed another scorer to be a cup contender, not just to team that makes the playoffs. Washington, with Forsberg, they're able to make it past their second round like drought, I guess, just where they can make it past the second round. But Detroit stops them in that third round and beats LA in 7 games. So clearly, Washington would be really good with Filip Forsberg. Obviously, Washington's having a really good season right now, but with Filip Forsberg in real life, I think they could be so much better than what it really shows here in NHL 16. I really wish NHL 16 could have a better simulation. I don't think it's bad. It just seems a little too random to me. But Washington and Nashville, I think you both would be still good teams if you hadn't made that trade, but Nashville definitely got the winning end of this. And so, yeah, Nashville fans, you can be happy that you got a star forward for almost absolutely nothing. That'll be all for now. If there's another scenario that you would like to see me do, just let me know down in the comments. So until next time, then, I'll see ya.